Hello, hello.
Hello, hello.
Hello, hello.
All right, then. So as Facebook builds our audience.
Building.
Oh my God, this is like so bright out here. I didn't bring my shades. They're in the car. So I'm going to be probably blinking a lot. We just watched Stop.
I'm trying to shade you.
Myki and Corey here.
Hola.
We've made this like a common thing now. So Tuesday mornings we watch a movie because number one, it's cheap, and two, it's cheap.
Exactly.
And it's really the only time we have to do it. So this week we watched Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman.
Which we both have been waiting for a long time, but you've been waiting longer than I have.
Oh my God, so long.
Right.
We've gone through so many tragedies to not ever be done, and then finally she's on the big screen.
You know, and I just learned about, I probably not just like maybe a year ago, I was told what the actual story behind Wonder Woman was, because I'll be honest, I only knew of the TV show from the 70s.
Linda Carter.
Yeah, and Love Linda Carter, but that
God,
series had nothing to do with what it's actually about.
Well,
compared to this movie.
Ish, different time frame. Linda Carter was definitely, especially the first season of the original series, was more about Wonder Woman during the Nazi period. Second and third season, they had to move into a more current time frame. So
how about we start over for people? So we're going to give a review. There's going to be spoilers, so stop watching now if you don't want to know.
Yeah,
I'm going to let Corey go first because he, like I said, he's the actor, he's the director, he's the pro at DC Comics. Give everyone a really brief background of what Wonder Woman is.
Comic book wise, Wonder Woman was basically the opposite, or the female version of Superman, a woman superhero from the perspective of fighting for the right, justice, and that whatnot during that time period, during
more
the
like,
wartime period.
Okay, Superman, not Captain America.
Also Captain America, but Captain America is Marvel, Superman's DC.
Oh, duh. Okay, I can't screw that up. Captain America is Marvel, and that's a big deal.
And so
right.
Those do play, against each other, different companies, but they are built into the comic bookdom for the same purpose, to have that person who's fighting for the right, for America against injustice, international speaking.
And she's not human.
Well, in the original,
right?
in the way that she was brought up before, there's been multiple versions of her throughout comic book history. One being that she was made from clay by
Zeus,
by the mother, and then brought to life through Zeus and the gods.
Right.
There's another
basically
version,
created from a statue.
Right. There's another version where she is a god. There's another version where she's like actually the daughter of Zeus.
Okay.
Then there's another version where she's literally just an
Wait,
Amazon.
how many versions are there?
It depended on...
That was like 5 right there.
Well, because there's time frame of comic books. It's every once in a while comic books will completely start a story over with a different writer, and it'll be their perspective. So it depends on which Wonder Woman you consider canon. For the most part, her
Marina's like, she's
overall.
human in my eyes.
Yeah.
So this movie, what version is this movie?
This version is actually a combination, spoiler, a combination of the myth that Diana in this story comes to believe that she was made from clay by her mother and brought to life by Zeus. However, she finds out that she's actually in the comic books New 52 version.
What,
her
52?
story, New 52. It's
comic version, New 52 version.
Yes, in that version, she was actually a god. So they combine those two elements. That in this story, she comes to find out that she actually is the daughter of Zeus.
Okay. So real quick, what are the points on it you liked, and then what are the points you didn't like, and then I'll give my review.
I pretty much liked everything about this. I liked the fact that the continuity stayed clean. The fact that the story itself was not loose. There weren't any superior plot holes. All the things that I normally complain about.
That you normally complain about, yes.
It was all there. It was a good movie. It was clean. It was concise. It wasn't. It stayed true to the character. I think there were homages and elements to the old version and the new version and Linda Carter. That it was all there.
Okay.
Everything that we've been wanting from a Wonder Woman movie.
So it delivered.
Yes, it totally delivered.
Good. Did you like who was casted as Wonder Woman?
At the very beginning, I did not.
This woman here.
I did not believe that Gal Gadot could do it, and that was only because of what I'd seen her. What I only had to base
Fast and Furious,
and a few minor things and other stuff to base that on. However,
yes,
she goes into canon for me as far as being the next Wonder Woman. Linda Carter, Wonder Woman. Gal Gadot goes right in behind her. She did an excellent job. She acted it well. At one point I thought that her accent was going to be an issue. It was not.
What is her accent?
Well, she's oh gosh, what is she? She is
the actress.
The actress herself.
So we don't know.
No, I think, is she Iranian?
Iranian.
She's something, because there's a country that's banned the movie because it's showing her as being who she is in her, oh god, I can't remember what it is.
Okay, never mind. So, but she delivered.
Yes, she delivered in multiple ways. She did the action well. She did the acting well. She showed one thing that I always give credit to Michelle Pfeiffer being one of the only other Catwoman in canon for me.
We're doing DC stuff.
Being able to act through her eyes. And
yes.
The acting through Gal's eyes was excellent. It was just a well done overall.
So what was it you didn't like?
What I didn't like?
Yes.
There were the main thing is the reveal of the villain. To me, is evident.
Spoiler.
The reveal. Well, I can try and say it without spoiling. It's just
okay.
The reveal of the villain is evident from the moment that you see him. Not even.
So you figured it out.
I figured it out.
You already knew.
Long before the audience is given the go-ahead to figure it out.
And why did you figure it out?
Because it was something about the writing, something about the way that they portrayed it. Maybe there just wasn't enough footage of them not visualizing it. Maybe it was an acting moment where the actor knows. So
are you referring to this particular
cues.
movie?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Maybe it's just that they were giving off social cues or something. That there was multiple things just about it that just said, this is obviously who the villain is.
See, because I never get those. I'm always fooled every time.
And there were like exactly 3 moments where they tried to misdirect you, and to me it felt like the misdirecting was a little forced. So it was kind of like,
give me one.
We want you to look over here, but then we go, it's obviously over there. The
spoiler.
The dance, the ball.
Okay.
Was kind of an obvious when what's her face snaps that stuff that he huffs.
Yeah.
That was a cue to me.
Oh, that's right, because he wouldn't need it.
And he kept saying things that the real villain would say. So it's almost like he was forcibly, I've got these lines that make me sound like the villain, but not really.
Interesting.
I don't know. It was just...
Because I never fall for it. I always never get it until it's revealed. I can't count on one hand anytime I went, I knew that. Like, I didn't. I had no idea. I mean, once, at the end, when it was revealed, when the movie directs you to think that's the bad guy, and then obviously it's not the bad guy, it didn't dawn on me who would actually be the bad guy. It didn't even dawn on me that character would even surface, to be honest.
Well, see, maybe it's because I have a little bit more intimate knowledge of the characters. Maybe it's because...
Probably.
Maybe it's because...
you've been reading DC Comics since you were 2.
Well,
I haven't.
But
what else did you not like about it?
I don't know. See, this is being nitpicky because, like I said, I love the movie. No, but this is... I loved it so much that I can't say that I didn't like something because, I'm going after that one little bit.
But I want to know.
At the end, the CGI in a couple places it was a little off.
At the end, in the beginning, it was off.
Yeah, well, it's all around, but it was just enough to go. It pulls you out a little bit, pulls you out of the movie for just a second. Like I said, it's not horrible. It's not enough to turn me off the movie. It's not enough to ruin the scene or anything. But it did pull me out just a little bit. So that could have been better because it would have made the end with the villain more climactic. Right now, he became anticlimactic. He became less powerful than he should be because of the CGI and because they left his actor head on. His actor head was still there when this is supposed to be... Instead of being a warrior and a god. An end-all villain, his whole thing should have been... If you're going to CGI the crap out of it, make it look good like they did with Hulk in Marvel. But, his whole visage should have been
compare it to... Did you like the CGI in the Avengers?
Yeah. So there's certain...
Okay, never mind. Was there a movie you actually liked the CGI and had no complaints?
Oh God.
Okay, never mind. So
that's a thought process.
we don't have 20 minutes.
That's a thought process.
So you didn't like are you talking the very ending scene or the ending fight?
The ending fight and then a few moments earlier, but the ending fight is the main one.
Okay. I have to admit that fight did kind of drag out and seemed rather cheesy.
And that goes
it felt anticlimactic, I won't lie.
Yeah, that goes to the number 3. I felt like the whole movie could have... There was little moments that you could have tightened it up so that the whole thing would have moved a bit
quicker. And okay, so then for me, because my review comes from a person that just loves movies. Like, I don't have acting experience. I am not a guru of DC Comics. So I come from it from just a consumer standpoint. And I have to say, every woman in America needs to see this movie. Or maybe every woman in the world. Because it was one of the most empowering movies I have seen in a very long time. And this is the thing. I had a very close... One of my best friends, Byron, who we've been friends since, middle school. He's a comic, and he's the one who tried to tell me I need to really research the Wonder Woman story because when I told him I didn't care much for Wonder Woman because I didn't like how cheesy they made her, I felt like they objectified her the Linda Carter days.
A lot of times they did, yeah.
Yes.
And that was a few times why changes were made because
it was objectifying her. Correct. And he was like, no, Myki, you really need to research it because this is the most amazing story ever, yada, yada, yada. So once I did, I was excited for this movie to come out. I tell you what, because, I liked, even though... Are you trying to read stuff?
Yes,
her thighs jiggled. Yeah. So the thing is her costume, obviously the way that her outfit is because she's a warrior who has to be able to move around. She's also an Amazon. She's also, it reveals later, spoiler alert, it reveals that she's a god. So she pretty much can't be destroyed by mortals. She just doesn't know that. So the outfits that they wear make them very agile. And whatever reason, they don't need to cover their thighs. I don't know why that is. I don't know why they don't cover their thighs. They have like knee-high boots and then armor up to their elbows, but like the forearm area and the thighs are covered, and then like their shoulders are... That just doesn't seem...
Well, Amazon's original history of Amazons, not just comic bookdom in history of real Amazons. I mean, that whole time, they did everything was for efficiency of armor. And
I guess, but they're training to be warriors. So
even to the point of cutting off one of their breasts to be able to pull the bow properly.
Because they do a lot of bow fighting and sword fighting. The fight scenes were frickin' on point. I have to say I loved that. She was 8 months pregnant and had a green triangle. I don't know what that means.
Had a green triangle? What is what? I have no idea.
Elisa, you're going to have to... I have no idea what you're talking about. If you're talking about this actual movie or the character, I don't know what you're talking about. So, watching this movie, watching how she's very... she's very extreme and full of justice, just like the character Captain America, just like the character Superman, where they have an innocence about them and they don't understand why. You know, I loved all the little bits where she catches, you know, she's so confident. She exudes so much confidence that Steve, the character, the captain, who she saves, right? He's a captain. He could tell he's nervous around her because she's.
I think he's major.
Oh, he's a major in the army. He's so nervous around her because she just exudes this confidence, and it's not ego, it's just confidence. It's you know, because of the way that she was raised, and she's very truthful with what she says. She has no reason to. The actor had a green triangle over her stomach because
you're saying they green screened her stomach.
Oh, wait, serious? Wait. All the fighting scenes, then she was not fighting.
No, she did most of her scenes.
8 months pregnant.
She did most of her things.
Wow, I did not know that, Elisa.
I didn't hear that she was 8 months pregnant at the time of certain shots.
But she was pregnant during the filming of the movie.
During the process, yeah, she was pregnant. I'm not sure about 8 months at that moment during the filming. The fight scenes.
That's interesting. So, you know, she's a very much a goody two shoes. Like when she catches people lying, or she catches, you know, when she stood up to the general. That scene to me was so powerful when she says, "How can you stand there and let that happen? And you know, you're an example. You're supposed to be fighting the front lines, not sitting here and being a coward." And I have always felt that way. And just like that one scene alone, right? And she's saying it with confidence, and she really wants to know to these people, and she wants them to be accountable for themselves and accountable for the power that they hold and accountable for the position that they're in. And it just resonated like no other for me.
Well, it should to everybody.
No, hold on.
It's totally proper for right now.
Well, too. I'm just saying for me, because I realize that I have spent my entire life trying to dummy myself down and calm myself down to make other people comfortable around me. And I shouldn't have had to do that, because I have always come from a good place. I'm an intense person. I believe in right and wrong. I grew up when I was young not understanding why people felt the need to lie and to use people and to hurt people. Like when I was younger, I had the audacity of hiding my mother's cigarettes and breaking them because I knew they were bad for her and I didn't want them around her. And I mean, that's just the way that I was. So when watching this movie, I flashed back on my entire life as a human being. And I just made the promise to myself as I was watching this movie, I will never do it again. And if there's anyone that can't handle being around me, then I guess that's it. And if I'm alone for the rest of my life, then I guess that's it. That's what I got out of this fucking movie, because she's thrown into our... Well, not really our world. She's just thrown into our situation. She grew up her whole life not knowing any of this existed. And it takes place during the First War.
Yes.
During World War I. And so she's living in this bubble until she's, I don't know, she's supposed to be a teenager, early 20s or something.
Well, yeah.
I mean, you can't go by how the actress looks. You have to go by the timeline in the movie. Before she goes out into the real world, and she's seeing it through the eyes, literally, to me, of a child, because she has not been around it ever.
Oh, yeah. It's like her finding, oh, baby, oh, ice cream. That's wonderful. You should be so proud.
It was delightful. But honestly, that's really what I got from the movie. Just, being yourself.
Elisa, yes.
Her interview said she was big and pregnant doing the scenes.
I did see some of those interviews. I wasn't sure about which scenes they were, though.
Gotcha. That is what I got out of it. I mean, there were some parts where the CGI I went, okay, you guys missed that part. But other than that, and then I think I was really just waiting for her to be Wonder Woman, but there has to be the build-up. There has to be the story, because this is the first of its kind to hit the big screen like this. So especially
since we already got a taste of her being Wonder Woman.
Yes, from
Batman and Superman.
Batman versus Superman. So it's like by the time she finally, you heard me in the theater, I'm like, it's about damn time. Like when she takes off
the reveal.
She takes off the big huge overcoat and she just steps up there in her shit. And she just goes and handles business, and then she ends up inspiring the soldiers, clearing the path, and inspiring the soldiers to go forth and do. And literally, I mean, it was a beautiful thing to see.
Yeah.
So I mean, 10 out of 10 recommend on this one.
I'm
definitely going to see this again. I told my daughter she needs to see this movie. She's not a superhero fan, But I said, honey, you need to see this movie. So I thought,
and I don't think it excluded men either. Too, I think a lot of people were
no, we
saying
didn't
that
exclude
it was like
men.
bashing men, and like no,
it
didn't go that direction.
It does reveal the sides of men that it would like them to keep it in check, but it also had men, like especially Steve. I mean, Steve was a gentleman from beginning to end, and he was a hero. And, you know, characters like him, and even the men that he got together, they ended up being, you could see why he picked them. Like in the beginning, when you first see them, you're seeing it through her eyes, and she's like, this guy and this guy, and this guy says he's this and this, because she's just going by what you say. She's not raised to be around liars and cheaters and two-faced people. She's like, if you say this is what you do, then I'm going to believe this is what you do. But as they develop and as you get to know them, she sees a more human side to them. She's seeing the more human side to mankind in general. So, yeah.
I totally agree with that. I like how they played with the perspectives of, you know, one person's good is not necessarily another person's good.
Correct. It's all about perspective and about believing and what you believe in. That's really what the whole premise of this was about, is what you believe in. So I definitely recommend, if you haven't seen it, see it.
Yes, at least I did want that downbeat, that dirty 80s and like ding 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 ding. Yes, the Wonder Woman theme song. I would have loved just one fraction of a second of that little bit being in there. It would have been good.
Well, have you seen that video that was thrown around where it was behind the scenes and she does the spin and they did it?
No, I have not seen that video. What?
Yeah, I'll post it. I can't remember who posted it, but like it was like a blooper, like behind the scenes, and they get her to do the spin and then Wonder Woman, and they play the song.
Oh my God, I would have died.
It's somewhere. I need to share it. I gotta find out. I'll share it. It's somewhere. It's hilarious. So it's there.
Oh, you better share it on here because I want to see it.
I know, right?
I want to see it.
So you recommend it?
I do. Of course.
Awesome.
Oh my
So.
God.
So we want to thank you for taking the time and watching, even though we had spoilers. And tune in next week. I'm sure we'll see a movie next Tuesday. It's going to be every Tuesday around... We see the movie around 10-something, and we review it between 12 and 1. So we'll be back next week. I don't know what movie.
I have no idea.
I have no idea.
Something interesting.
There'll be something interesting. And meanwhile, enjoy the rest of your Tuesday, because look at this. It's gorgeous out. It's just gorgeous.
And it's not horribly warm. There's a breeze, too.
Yeah, so enjoy it, and have a great Tuesday.
Ciao.